My mom spent my $1,200 on laser hair removal because you're still a guy and you don't need it. I agreed, and I made her an appointment with the bailiff. My mom spent the money I'd been saving for months, and not by accident. She said I should be grateful, so I did the one thing no good son is ever supposed to do. And now the whole family's pretending I'm the villain. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm just hollow, like I've been emotionally sandpapered down to nothing. This morning, I stood in the bathroom staring at my reflection. Bruised eyes from no sleep, mouth dry, palms shaking, and all I could think was, how did it get to this? How did I let it? I'm Josh. I'm 24. I live at home. Not because I want to, but because I've been saving up to move out. Rent is impossible in my city unless you want 6 roommates and no windows. I work full-time and pick up gigs when I can. I budget. I grind. I hustle. So when I finally scraped together $1,200 in cash, actual cash, I felt proud. It was my first and last security deposit, my escape route. I hid it in the one place I thought no one would look, a manila envelope taped behind the drawer in my desk. Not a safe, I know, but it felt safe. No one goes in my room. Or so I thought. So when I pulled out the drawer yesterday and found nothing, just a bit of sticky tape and dust, I thought maybe I'd gone crazy. I tore the whole desk apart. Then my dresser, then the closet. I checked the laundry bin, the trash, the ceiling tiles. I even checked the goddamn freezer. I finally asked my mom, because she's the only one who could have been in there. She didn't even blink. "Oh," she said, like I'd asked about the weather. I needed it. "You what?" I couldn't believe the words coming out of her mouth. I took the envelope. "It was just sitting there," she said, like I left a granola bar out, not $1,200. "Josh, you're a guy. You don't need laser hair removal. I've been dying to do this for years." I just stared at her. My jaw literally hung open. I couldn't even find a sentence. The silence stretched so long that she added, completely serious, "Besides, you live here rent-free?" Rent-free. The words hit me like a punch to the sternum. Never mind the groceries I cover every week, the internet bill in my name, the rides to her appointments, the way I do everything for this house. Mow the lawn, fix the Wi-Fi, take her dog to the vet. But yeah, rent-free. She patted my arm, like I was overreacting. "It's done now. You should be happy I look good." I don't even remember walking out of the room. I called my best friend Eric and just crumbled. I could barely get the words out. All I kept saying was, "She stole from me. My own mom stole from me." And the worst part? She didn't even seem ashamed. I didn't sleep. Again. I tried. But my head was buzzing, pounding, screaming at me with every memory I've spent years trying to forget or excuse. It's not just the $1,200. It's what it represents. The way I've been slowly disappearing in this house for years. Not just unnoticed, but unneeded, until my usefulness can be harvested like crops. Growing up, it was different. My mom and I were close, closer than most. She called me her little man after my dad bailed when I was 8. I remember feeling proud when I carried in groceries or made her tea. I used to think I was helping, that I mattered, that she saw me. But then I got older, and it turned into this subtle slide. Helping became expected. Gratitude turned into guilt trips. If I hesitated to help her out, loan her a little, fix something, cancel my plans for her errands, she'd sigh and mutter things like, "You're not like your father, are you?" I wasn't. I never wanted to be. So I kept helping, even when it hurt. When I was 19, I had a job at a local electronics store, my first consistent paycheck. She borrowed half of my second check just for a few days. I never saw it again. When I asked, she said, "You live here rent-free." That line again. It became the refrain of our household. Even when I paid for things. Even when I skipped meals at work to save. Even when I covered her Amazon addiction because she forgot to unlink my card. I kept justifying it. She's my mom. She raised me. She's had it hard. That's what I told myself the night I canceled my 21st birthday dinner to drive her to a spiritual healing retreat in another city. She said she couldn't go alone, that she'd pay me back for the gas. She didn't. Then there's her partner, Ron. Ron is, I don't even know what he is. Semi-unemployed? Permanently zen? He moved in 3 years ago and brought his energy alignment crystals and his opinions about masculinity. He thinks real men sacrifice without complaint. So anytime I push back, he makes comments about how Josh is still trapped in ego. Ron doesn't pay for anything. But somehow I'm the one living rent-free. This whole week, I've been playing back every red flag I ignored. Every time she asked to borrow cash and I pretended it was no big deal. Every time Ron told me I had provider energy and I smiled instead of throwing up. The $1,200 was just the last match. But now, I'm not just angry. I'm activated. Because yesterday, after the silence and tension and awkward avoidance, she had the audacity to ask me to pick up her new prescription from the pharmacy. "Just put it on your card, sweetie," she said. Like nothing happened. "I'll pay you back." I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Like you paid me back for the envelope." She rolled her eyes. Rolled her eyes. Like I was being dramatic. Like she couldn't believe I was still bringing that up. "Oh my God, Joshua, that was for a medical procedure. Laser. Hair. Removal." She said it like she was fighting cancer. I told her I wasn't doing anything else for her. She waved me off like I was a toddler throwing a tantrum. "Don't be petty. You know you'll cave." But I didn't. Instead, I made a different call. To a friend of mine, Jonah. He works for the local small claims court. Not a lawyer, but he knows things. "Can I sue my mom?" I asked. He paused for a beat. "Depends. How much we talking?" When I told him the story, he said the words that shook something loose in me. "It's theft, bro. Family or not." I always swore I wouldn't be that guy. You know the one, airing dirty laundry, dragging family to court, making a scene. I used to judge people who sued their parents. Thought they were bitter or entitled or just had no loyalty. But now I understand. You get tired of being the family punching bag. You get tired of swallowing rage and calling it maturity. Of letting things slide because that's just how mom is. Of being used up and tossed aside, then expected to come running back the minute the Wi-Fi goes down. So yeah, I made the call. Jonah helped me draft a small claims petition. It was simple. $1,200 stolen from my room. I took pictures of the drawer, the broken tape, the exact spot the envelope used to be. I printed out texts from my mom, her literally admitting she took the money, saying, "You're a guy. I needed it." And the phrase that sealed it? "It's done now. Be happy, I look good." We submitted everything. And then came the part I didn't expect. I had to serve her, like actually have the petition delivered to her in person. I couldn't do it myself. That's against the rules. So I made an appointment with a bailiff. It was surreal, like stepping into a parallel universe. One minute you're a dude who fixes your mom's router, and the next you're filling out a form that says, "Plaintiff, Joshua M. Defendant, Lillian M. Mother." I chose a date, signed the papers, and then I went home. I didn't say anything, I just waited. The court papers were scheduled to arrive Thursday at 10 a.m. That morning, I left early. Got coffee. Sat in my car 2 blocks away, heart racing like I was pulling off a heist. My phone buzzed at 10:13 a.m. MOM. What the hell is this? No greeting? No punctuation? Just all caps rage. I ignored it. 2 minutes later, MOM. "You're suing me over laser hair removal?" Still ignored it. Then she called. I let it ring. And ring. And ring. She called again. Then she texted MOM. "This is disgusting. You're a monster. Do you want me to go to jail?" And the part that broke me? She ended it with, "I raised you better than this." Raised me? You raised me to be silent. You raised me to be convenient. You raised me to be the one who never made waves while you drained me dry. I didn't reply. I just opened the message, let her see the read receipt. And that night, I got a voicemail from Ron. Update 1. Okay. I was not ready for how hard this blew up. I thought maybe a few people would read it. Maybe someone would say, "Yeah, dude, your mom sucks." But instead, thousands of you read it. DMS, comments, people telling me their own stories, people sending legal tips. Even one guy who just messaged, 1,200 should have gone full arson. Y'all are wild. And honestly, thank you. So, here's the fallout so far. First off, yes, the lawsuit is real. No, she won't go to jail. Small claims court doesn't work like that. But she is pissed, like thermonuclear meltdown pissed. The moment the bailiff left, she blew up my phone. I didn't answer anything except a text that just said, "This is your doing, not mine." That night, Ron left me a voicemail. I wish I could upload it here. It's gold. He starts calm. "Hey man, heard about the papers, just want to talk man to man." Then slowly turns into this pseudo-spiritual guilt spiral. Says I'm blocking my emotional frequency. that money is a social illusion, that I'm violating the sacred bond between parent and child. My favorite part? The real wealth is inner peace and you're bankrupt, brother. I laughed so hard I had to sit down. I didn't respond, obviously. But guess who did respond? My aunt, my mom's sister. We're not super close, but she's always been the one adult in the family who doesn't treat me like a disposable cable guy. She called me, no guilt, no pressure, just said, I heard what happened, and I'm proud of you. That hit harder than I expected. She said she's known for years how my mom treats me, but you can't save someone who doesn't think they're drowning. Then she offered to testify if it ever came to that. I don't even know if I'll need her, but just hearing someone say, I believe you, was, damn. Yeah, the court date's still a few weeks away. My mom's trying everything, guilt, rage, even denial. She told one of my cousins I was on drugs and paranoid. I'm not, unless coffee counts. But me? I'm good. No, better than good. For the first time in years, I feel like I have my own back. Like I drew a line. Like I said, you don't get to hurt me and then call it love. I've started sleeping again. Actually sleeping. And last night, I got a Venmo request. From Ron. $120. Your share of groceries. No joke. I declined it and labeled it reimbursement for my soul. So yeah, we're in the thick of it. But I'm not backing down. Not anymore. You ever have that moment where people stop pretending? Where all the fake, we're family niceties just fall away and you finally see what they really think of you? Because that's where I am now. And let me tell you, it's liberating and nauseating all at once. 3 days after the bailiff dropped the papers, the whisper campaign began. I went to pick up something from the pharmacy, one of the few places nearby where I don't get side-eyed, and the cashier, who went to school with my cousin, gives me this look. Like half pity, half judgment. I know that look. 10 minutes later, I check Facebook. My mom's posted some vague-ass status. It hurts when the people you gave everything to turn on you for money. But I guess that's what the world is now. Family matters, forgiveness journey. She tagged me. I wasn't even on her friends list. She added me back just to tag me in that trash. The comments are exactly what you'd expect. Praying for you, Lillian. Some people don't know gratitude. He'll regret this one day. And then, buried in the thread, was my grandmother. Always knew he had a temper. I haven't talked to her in years. She lives in Florida, barely remembers birthdays, but now she's ready to weigh in like I'm the family disgrace. It's wild how fast the narrative shifts when you finally say no. And here's the kicker. Right in the middle of this social media pity parade, my mom texts me again. M-O-M. If we talk face to face, can we just settle this without all the drama? All the drama. As if she didn't create the damn circus and sell tickets. I didn't respond right away. I needed to cool off. I went for a drive, ended up at a diner near the edge of town. Same place I used to go when I needed to breathe back in high school. Ordered coffee, stared at my reflection in the window, tried to remember who I used to be before all this made me so tired. That's when Eric called, my best friend since forever. He'd seen the Facebook post. Dude, he said, you good? I told him everything. And then he said something that stuck with me. You're not just suing her for the money, you're suing her for all the years she made you feel like a burden. Yeah, that, because it's not just about the $1,200. It's about the birthdays she forgot but still expected gifts. The times she made me feel guilty for not skipping school to drive her to appointments. The nights I cried in my room while she said, boys don't get to fall apart. She only wants peace now because I stopped playing along. So, number. We're not doing face-to-face? I texted her back. Any settlement will happen in court. I'm done being gaslit over brunch. She left me on red. South, I thought I was the problem child. The black sheep. The ungrateful son dragging his poor mother to court over a misunderstanding. That's what she called it when she showed up at my work, by the way. Yeah, she came to my job. Didn't even text. Just walked in, full mom mode, smiling like she was dropping off cookies. My manager spotted her first, thank God he's cool, and gave me the, you want me to toss her? Look, I said no. I figured, fine, let's hear it. She pulls me aside into the little break room. It reeks of burnt popcorn and anxiety. Joshua, she says, with this rehearsed calm, I've been thinking, maybe we could sit down, talk. No lawyers. I just looked at her, and I said, did you think showing up at my work would scare me into dropping the case? Her eyes flashed. For a second, like the mask slipped. But she caught herself. It's embarrassing, she said. Having the court involved? What will people think? Maybe, I said. They'll think you shouldn't have stolen from your son. And then, I swear to you, she said, well, if you're going to be dramatic about it, maybe I should have taken more. That's when I walked away. Straight up left her standing there in the break room while I clocked back in. My manager gave me a protein bar and said, want me to call security next time? Legend. Anyway, here's where it gets interesting. That night, I get a message on Instagram. It's from my cousin Lisa. We haven't talked in years. She moved to Arizona, got married, went off-grid family-wise. She writes, hey, saw the post. Just wanted to say, you're not crazy. She did the same to me when I lived there. I stared at my screen. Heart pounding. We talked for 2 hours. Turns out back when she was 19 and crashing at my mom's place for a few months, she had saved nearly $800 for a car deposit. Mom found the envelope. Said she borrowed it for car repairs. Never paid her back. When Lisa pushed, Mom kicked her out. Lisa never told anyone, said she thought it was her fault for being too trusting. I couldn't believe it, couldn't breathe. Because suddenly, it wasn't just me, it was a pattern. I started thinking about all the cousins, the kids who stayed over during hard times, the loans Mom never paid back, the phones that went missing, the whispered jokes about her being bad with money. Maybe I wasn't the black sheep. Maybe I was the first one to call her bluff. I texted Lisa back and asked if she'd be willing to say any of this in court. She said yes. Said she'd been waiting years for someone to finally say it out loud. So now? Now I've got receipts. And a witness. And momentum. Update 2. Okay, buckle up, because today was the court date, and holy hell, y'all. First off, thank you. Seriously. Your DMs, your comments, the people who told me you're not crazy, the ones who made me laugh with roast memes and Ron sounds like a walking incense stick jokes. Every single message helped. You made me feel like I wasn't just some petty loser suing his mom. You made me feel sane. So here's how it went down. We show up. It's a small courtroom, nothing dramatic. But she came dressed like she was auditioning for a Lifetime movie. Beige sweater, no makeup, sad eyes. Ron was with her. Wore a turtleneck and brought a fucking notebook. Like he was the defense lawyer. Dude scribbled something every time I blinked. The judge comes in, calls the case. He asks for opening statements. I keep it simple. She took $1,200 from me without permission, admitted it via text, and I want it back. Her turn. She goes full waterworks, tells the judge I'm unstable, that I've been acting erratically, that she borrowed the money for a medical procedure and had every intention of paying it back once her taxes came in. Spoiler, her taxes already came in. She spent them on concert tickets. I have the receipts. Judge listens, nods, then says, let's look at the texts, and proceeds to read them out loud. Every single one. You're a guy. I needed it. It's done now. Be happy. I look good. You live here rent-free. He gets to that last one, stops, looks up, and says, Ms. M, did your son pay for household expenses? She tries to dodge. Well, he would sometimes help with groceries. Do you consider that rent? No, but... He cuts her off. Because this reads as a justification for theft, not repayment. And y'all, I felt it. I felt the tide shift right there. But the kicker? When I said I had a witness. He asked who? I said Lisa, and you could see my mom flinch like I'd smacked her. She knew. Lisa submitted a written statement. Detailed. Clear. Dated. Even included a screenshot of a message where my mom said that $800 was a loan from the universe, not from you. The judge didn't even blink, just added it to the file. At the end, he looked at both of us and said, family disputes are the worst, but this isn't a misunderstanding. This is a boundary that was ignored. Then he ruled in my favor. $1,200 plus filing fees. You should have seen Ron's face, like someone told him his crystals were fake. My mom didn't look at me as we left. She just whispered something to Ron and walked out. I stood there for a second. Heart racing, stomach tight. But it wasn't joy or victory I felt. It was relief. Like I finally stopped asking to be seen and forced it instead. I didn't expect her to call, but part of me, some tiny wounded corner, hoped she would. After court, I thought maybe she'd text. Say she'd thought it over. Say sorry. Mean it. But for a whole week, silence. Just my bank app notification. $1,268 deposited from LM. No memo line, no emoji, no closure. Then, 3 days ago, a card arrived in the mail. A literal Hallmark card. White lilies. Soft gold script. Inside it said, "Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it." Mark Twain. And under that, in her handwriting, "You'll understand someday. I still love you. No, sorry. No ownership. Just spiritual guilt washing and the same vague martyr energy she's always weaponized." I stared at it for 10 full minutes. Then I laughed. Hard, ugly, the kind of laugh that sounds like it's coming from someone else. Because of course that's what she'd do. Not face it, not say the words. Just twist it into a teaching moment where I'm supposed to grow. I didn't respond. Instead, I took the card, grabbed a lighter, and burned it. Slowly, watching the gold script curl and blacken. That night, I started packing. Because here's the part I haven't said. The day after court, I finally found a room to rent. A coworker of Eric's needed someone to sublet, and I jumped on it. Small space, weird carpet, creaky pipes. But it's mine. I moved out yesterday. Left a note on the fridge. I lived here. I helped. I mattered. You just didn't want to see it. Don't look for me unless you're ready to see the whole picture. Josh. I took my duffel bag, my books, and the new key in my pocket. As I closed the door behind me, Ron was in the backyard meditating. Didn't even open his eyes. Perfect. So now I'm writing this from my own room. My own mattress, no weird incense, no spiritual lectures. Just me, a slice of frozen pizza, and silence that actually feels safe. And yeah, I'm grieving. Not because I lost her, but because I finally admitted she was never going to be the mom I kept pretending she might be. This was never about revenge. It was about breaking the spell. About saying, you don't get to hurt me and call it love. And now I'm free.